to episode number 3 of Let's Grapple on the Too Sweet Cosplay YouTube channel. I'm STVO, here to join you with another weekly edition. I do apologize that there was no weekend recording. It was a little busier than usual, so I am doing this fresh after SmackDown Live tonight. So today I will be discussing both the men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches, as all the participants for each match has been official. So in this next graphic, hopefully I can work on narrating over this just because I want to get better at the video skills, but bear with me, I am a bit of a novice. I'm going to show you both the leaked card and the official card, and I'll discuss the differences of each of the men's card. We're going to start off with that. So here is the leaked version of the card, followed by the official card. The official card, as you guys saw, is going to be Andrade. No Cien Almas, it's just Andrade in WWE now. He went from SmackDown back to Raw, back to SmackDown. Go figure. Then we got Raw superstar Ricochet. We have Drew McIntyre from Monday Night Raw. We have Finn Balor, SmackDown superstar, excuse me. Braun Strowman, still a Raw superstar. Baron Corbin, Raw. Ali, yeah, I hate that whole thing. I might just be calling him Mustafa Ali, but the official name's Ali. And then Randy Orton. So the big changes here were that it was the original leaked card had Mysterio, Aleister Black, and Lars Sullivan. They've been replaced with past Money in the, they've been replaced with Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, Ali, and Braun Strowman. And yes, Orton and Strowman and Baron Corbin are all former Money in the Bank winners. Strowman and Corbin are on the list of the people who never successfully cashed in their Money in the Banks properly, while Randy Orton did do so. He did it on Daniel Bryan, and I believe that was at SummerSlam 2013 after Daniel Bryan defeated John Cena in a title match at SummerSlam. So with that said, I kind of wish, I mean, I'm fine with them using a former Money in the Bank winner from the past. I would have rather they have done one of the three guys, be it Orton, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman. But they brought back three, so I guess that it is what it is. Rey Mysterio would have been nice if they kept him from the leaked card, but you know, because he's the high flyer, he does a lot of amazing things, but it's okay. I guess we could deal with that. I mean, we have Ali and we have Ricochet as the high flyers of the match, so at least we have that. And then with the three former Money in the Bank winners, we have some power guys. And, you know, Orton, he's a 13-time champion, I believe. 13-time world champion. So, I mean, that's nice they got that variety. I do enjoy that Finn Balor's in there. Drew McIntyre being in there is also great. Ricochet, like mentioned earlier, will be awesome. Andrade will be awesome. So they got a good lineup. But yeah, I kind of wish that they would have kept Aleister Black and Cesaro. Cesaro would have been a pick that I could have seen be a Money in the Bank winner. I don't think he would have won it, but it would have been a nice touch to the Money in the Bank. So for right now with that, I'm going to predict Drew McIntyre to actually win the Money in the Bank. He's been a heavy favorite for a while. He was rumored to possibly be at in the Universal title match at this year's WrestleMania, but you know, Seth Rollins ended up being the guy to face Brock Lesnar, who, with breaking news from the ringside roster, my friend's page, Brock Lesnar appears to be done with MMA, so we may be seeing more of him soon enough. Stay tuned. But in the meantime, yeah, Drew was supposed to be a contender for a Royal Rumble winner or Universal Champion contender for WrestleMania, but maybe it'll come later this year via Money in the Bank victory. Another favorite who I could potentially see if they don't go with Drew is Andrade. They're supposed to poise him up for a big push, so time will tell. I think he would be another great choice. So number one choice is Drew McIntyre, but I would be totally okay if they did Andrade as well. I'd be cool with Finn Balor as well. He can cash in via Demon. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm not, oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, Lars Sullivan, I'm glad that he didn't end up being in Money in the Bank. I think that would have been a little too soon for him. They're kind of just trying to do the whole monster build-up for him. Beating up the Hardy Boys, beating up R-Truth. I could potentially see R-Truth and Lars Sullivan have a match in Money in the Bank, so from there we just continue building and they'll eventually get his match with Roman Reigns. So next up, we're going to talk about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We'll do the same thing we did before. We'll go over showing you the leaked card from this past weekend, and we'll also show you what the final card is. So I'm going to let that play, and we'll continue the discussion. The official card is Bayley, Natalya, Naomi, Carmella, Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Alexa Bliss. Again, we have two former Money in the Bank winners from the past. They were both successful with their cash-ins, respectively, with Carmella as the first ever Miss Money in the Bank. And then we had Alexa Bliss, who me and my girlfriend, Rocky, were at the All-State Arena last year for Money in the Bank. That was pretty cool. Alexa Bliss won the Money in the Bank. She later cashed in during the Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax match, where she successfully cashed in on Nia Jax in that particular match. So, unlike the other match where there's going to be 3 Money in the Bank winners, I'm okay with them having 2 former Miss Money in the Banks, because this match history is shorter in the women's division versus the men's division, which is over a decade long now at this point, and I just prefer that we have fresh face-ups with that division. But it's a pretty solid lineup for the women's. But anywho, yeah, so from the leaked card from this past weekend, Tamina was on the card. No offense to her, but I'm okay that she's not on it. Sasha Banks was on it. That's no big surprise whatsoever, because there's like last week's episode of Let's Grapple, and just all over the news pages you'll see just news about Sasha wanting out. Sasha's not going to come back to Raw. So I think that's okay that she's not going to be in that particular match. I think that it's going to be okay. I mean, it's kind of a stinker that she's not going to be in it, but who's really surprised? The one that I am disappointed in currently is Sonya Deville. I kind of hope that she and Mandy have a fight, and Sonya does replace Mandy in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Personally, just because I prefer Sonya as a talent, I think she would be a great future star. Time will tell what happens with her, but I guess she'll take the sidelines for now in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But yeah, a solid lineup, I would say. I'm not too big on Dana Brooke. I don't see too big of a future, but I would take her over Tamina personally. They got some great wrestlers like Bayley, Ember Moon, Naomi, and they're very great. So I think they're going to put on a good showing in that match. But with that being said, I think that Bayley's going to win the Money in the Bank match. Whether she does a heel move by cashing in on Becky during the Charlotte match or the Lacey Evans match, because they're doing double duty, I could potentially see her or whoever wins Money in the Bank this weekend, and whoever wins the Money in the Bank match, I could definitely see that woman cashing in respectively in one of those matches, so Becky finally drops one of those titles. I think she'll retain. This is early predictions, by the way. I might very well change it in the next week or so. But I could see Becky retaining in both her match against Lacey Evans and retaining against Charlotte Flair. Meanwhile, whoever the Money in the Bank winner is, like let's say Bayley comes down to cash in after Becky defeats Charlotte. I could see that happening. Or I could even see Naomi cash in on Becky after the Lacey Evans match. Time will tell, but there's some potential good opportunities. But I do lean it towards being Bayley because I can see it finally being a way to turn her heel and maybe even try a new persona. That's currently my pick. My second pick would be Naomi because she's a former two-time women's champion. I could see them doing a little more with her on the Raw brand. I think that would be a totally fine option. Another option, of course, would be Ember Moon. She's very good. I think that she can just build herself up on SmackDown Live. I think she'd be a great choice, but we'll tell. My number one pick, though, however, is going to be Bayley. So the next segment, it's actually going to be a cosplay segment. Just a while ago, we did showcase on our page Joe Anthony Ramos having a WrestleMania wedding. If you haven't seen it, come check out the page. But in the meantime, I will also just show the clips here. That's what this show's all about. He had a wedding with his wife-to-be at the time, Astea Ramos. This happened at WrestleMania during the tailgate party. So you find love anywhere. It's very nice where you can have weddings and things like that. This was like a very special moment for them. Joe Ramos came out styling and profiling as Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! And his wife-to-be was Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So, yeah, they had a big day there. It was like right outside the MetLife Stadium. Joe's best man, Daniel DeLuca, was dressed up as the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, complete with the money shirt. Joe's sister, Priscilla, cosplayed as The Undertaker with his nephew, dressed as Kane. Stepson is John Cena, and there was an adorable little Bayley cosplayer. Also, you'll see Joe with his robe, and then he has one for a potential little Charlotte Flair cosplayer. It was just a little Nate robe. Very, very sweet. Here are some photos. Come check them out. Yeah, weren't those nice photos? But yeah, just come on over, check out the posts on all our social media pages. There's this news story in extensive coverage from NJ.com, NewJersey.com. They did a story. The Squared Circle Entertainment did a little video of the whole ceremony. You can catch that on YouTube. I'll include links in the comments. And if I don't do it right away, just make sure you remind me. But I'll include that, otherwise you can get all that stuff over on the Too Sweet Cosplay social media pages. So, now with that being said, it's time for the last portion of the show today. It's going to be a question and answer segment. So, if you ever do want your question answered, I'm going to change the format. You actually can go onto any of the social media pages on Too Sweet Cosplay. I'll make a weekly post where you can ask the questions. I will try to answer them, include them. I'm going to limit for now until, if we get a bigger base, I'll have to limit it some more because I want to make sure everybody gets at least one question answered. But I'm going to limit the questions 2 per episode, and that includes all social media. So don't try to do 2 questions per Facebook, 2 questions per Instagram, 2 questions per Twitter. Just 2 questions for now. If the number exceeds, we'll have to shorten that to just 1 question per person. I'll do my best to try to get everybody who has a question answered on the show, but for the meantime, let's begin. So, my buddy Andrew DeSocio from the RingsideRoster.com. He had the question of what I thought about. His first question is, here, I'll go over this one actually. What's your opinion on WWE pulling The Undertaker and Kurt Angle from StarCast? Well, it's really unfortunate. I know people probably did buy the bracelets and things like that for strictly The Undertaker. I mean, obviously, if you're going to StarCast, it's going to be a great event. You're going to try to meet as many wrestlers as possible, but I'm sure there were many who probably did buy an Undertaker thing expecting him to be there, or maybe some didn't have plans to go to StarCast and just wanted to meet The Undertaker and bought a badge. I mean, it really sucks. Just this past weekend, they had him at the For the Love of Wrestling in the UK. We have a lot of photos of various cosplayers there and a lot of celebrities, including Taker UK himself meeting The Undertaker, meeting Mark Calloway. Great photo. You can see it all over on our pages. But yeah, it's amazing that For the Love of Wrestling, they were able to get him to come. But I think that Undertaker did sign a new contract shortly after he signed up for StarCast, but I guess WWE was able to legally pull him from the convention. I wish they could have worked some deal where maybe he did appear at StarCast too, and then maybe he couldn't do any future outside of the WWE unless approved events through them. I wish they could have worked something out, but I mean, it's a business, it's not a real surprise. The same goes for Kurt Angle, great guy, got to meet him. You can see a photo of me meeting him on the social media pages as well. Yeah, it's unfortunately he can't make it, but again, he did renew his contract. Not sure the exact logistics of it. I think he may be playing somewhat of a backstage role, because obviously he had his retirement match at WrestleMania. So it is unfortunate that we can't see Undertaker or Kurt Angle at StarCast, but it really isn't all too surprising. The second question here is, what do you think of Bray Wyatt's new character, and how far do you see it going? Yeah, Andrew there asked about the Firefly Funhouse, this whole Pee-wee Herman's Pee-wee's Playhouse type of character, where Bray's just a super happy-go-lucky children's shows host, and he has all the puppets such as Rambling Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard, and then the Witch. Their name's escaping me right now, but yeah, a really creepy witch doll. I think they're very funny. I guess you could say some of them are so bad they're funny, or so bad they're good. I grew up loving Pee-wee's Playhouse. I still think that show is very funny to this day. I do like the whole kids show parody thing. I think that's really funny, so it is entertaining. If nothing else, the segments are entertaining. Now, how far they'll go, time will tell. Personally, I don't think it's going to have too long a shelf life. I think that they will push Bray with it. I think he's going to get some big victories, maybe over the likes. Maybe we'll see him get something over AJ Styles, or if he's going to SmackDown, maybe he'll get a victory over Roman Reigns. Maybe not a clean victory, but I can see some kind of victories happening. And who knows, maybe he'll get an Intercontinental title run, or perhaps a United States Championship title run. But I don't really see it extending into the main event scene. And I think maybe, let's say 4 months after he finally debuts on TV as a wrestler, finally having matches, I don't see it going that long. Maybe like 3 to 4 months tops. I mean, good luck to him. I hope this is the gimmick that they've been waiting for. The guy hasn't had a fair shake. Yeah, he did win the world title. And yeah, it's funny seeing him do these segments despite being a former WWE champion. But yeah, he had these, I mean, he hasn't had the best of luck. It seems like he's gonna get built and then he loses momentum via losing victories, or perhaps over-the-top gimmicks, the Chamber of Horrors, or sorry, the House of Horrors, then there's the whole Sister Abigail thing going on. I don't know, he hasn't had his fair shake, so hopefully this does a little better than those other gimmicks. Alright, this one is a two-parter from Platinum Saki, aka Saki the Sock Puppet, and his handler, Alejandro. The first question is best advice on making the best WWE cosplay for a sock puppet like me. So that's what Saki the Sock Puppet has a question. You know, I don't make too many sock puppet material things, but the work you guys do on Saki looks great. Like the AJ Styles shirts, the Seth Rollins shirts, you guys look, well, Saki, you look fantastic in that. So I guess just the best way is just look for different fabrics. If you want to do any masks or anything, just kind of just look around. I mean, if anybody else on here has any suggestions for Saki, please do so. If you do any crafts, we're always willing to listen. But yeah, we're always trying to incorporate cosplay tutorials. We hope maybe we'll have some more on the page. I'm a cosplayer myself, but you know, I kind of do a cheaper route. Admittedly, I don't do much sewing. I'll either have a girlfriend, my mother, or I've had other friends do sewing, or I'll just do super glue or just fabric paint. I like to paint, so Saki, if you're up for painting, or Alejandro, if you're willing to paint Saki's face, let's give that a try. How about that? Another question from Alejandro and Saki, the Sock Puppet, is what would be the best advice you would give for me and Saki if I have Saki interact with a top favorite WWE superstar at a show? Well, I guess just use proper etiquette. Just be friendly, be nice. Don't be forceful on showing Saki to whoever superstar comes out. You know, make a creative sign. If you're front row, people like that. We have a video over on our YouTube page showing William Gonzalez cosplaying as the Demon Finn Balor, getting a photo, a nice little moment of him and Finn Balor. He said he really liked it, so you never know. Just have something stand out, be polite and respectful, and maybe the superstars will come. And just always stay on top of those events. You never know. These superstars come into town, whether it's a sign in the cricket store or a convention, they're always around. So just stay tuned. Just you know, there's various outlets you can find information when they're coming to town. So the next question is actually from David Anderson. Here's what he asked. Do you think WWE tried to be slick by taking the belt off Asuka, then adding Charlotte to the main event, so that way Charlotte can get the belt back from Becky at Money in the Bank, stay on SmackDown, that way Asuka could not get her win back against Charlotte? You know, I'm really not sure what the whole plan with Charlotte defeating Asuka was prior to WrestleMania 35. I was not a big fan of the move. I didn't think it was necessary. I mean, the whole Becky 2 belts thing is kind of a fun little watch. Yeah, so I'm really not sure. So let's see. I'm just going to repeat the question one more time in my head. Oh, okay, yeah, so I see. So you're kind of like seeing if there was just a way to see if Charlotte would just keep the belt on SmackDown, just so she just wouldn't have to lose a title if Becky goes to Raw, or just not have Asuka get a win back. I mean, if I recall correctly, Asuka and Charlotte have had 3 total matches. One obviously being WrestleMania 34. Me and Rocky were there live. Great match. I wasn't as upset as that others were about Charlotte finally putting an end to Asuka's streak. I believe there was a victory from Charlotte over, Asuka, Charlotte over Asuka on an episode of SmackDown. Then, of course, there was the TLC match, though, between Charlotte, Asuka, and Becky. And Asuka actually got that win. Maybe the emphasis was a little more on Charlotte and Becky at the time. And then, of course, Ronda Rousey interfered in the match, setting up for the WrestleMania 35. And from there, yeah, Asuka was, I believe, a 3-month champion until that finally went away. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't fair. I wish that Asuka had a better run. We'll see what happens in the tag division with her and Kairi Sane. I think they have potentials to be women's tag team champions. I guess we'll find out. Final question is a non-wrestling topic from one of my best friends, Matt McCallum, and it was on Facebook. His question here was, do you think Hollywood is dying, or that it's transitioning to where it will be as strong as ever? That perhaps it's struggling to find its footing for the next step. Like we all go through a phase where we miss the part, but then eventually realize that we still can move forward. And there's plenty of great things to wait up ahead if we're willing to give them more of a chance once all the nostalgia needs get out of our system. Well, I mean, seeing that the Avengers Endgame got $1.2 billion worldwide over this past weekend. By the way, excellent movie, can't recommend it enough. If you're a big Marvel fan or casual Marvel fan, you definitely need to see it. Definitely fight off all those spoilers if you can. Hopefully people aren't as rude as some people can be. But no, I don't think that the Hollywood industry is currently dying. Maybe there's too much reliance on licensed products. Obviously the comic books, like mentioned. But I mean, hey, if you're gonna make a 1.2 billion Thursday through Sunday worldwide, then your ass is gonna want to keep producing more of those types of movies. I mean, it makes total sense. And while maybe they over rely on the comics, I like them. I'm not sick of Marvel movies. I say the more the merrier. Obviously, when it comes to all that dominating television, that's a different story. I guess they could try to look away from remakes. I mean, to my knowledge, it looks like Pet Sematary didn't do as well as they were hoping. It was the big theme that did a great job in the box office. And it too should do very well when it comes out later this year. I would say, hopefully they could try some more creative ideas, but I mean, money-wise, I guess, as long as those movies are making them money, even if they're not new ideas, then all is good. From a creative standpoint and personal enjoyment, I'm enjoying Hollywood personally. I mean, maybe they could have some more variety of movies, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I loved Endgame. Can't wait for Detective Pikachu. Can't wait for Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, there's quite a bit of movies. And just today, they put the trailer up for Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That one I'm not excited for. And I kind of let it be known on the official Paramount page that as a longtime Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I wasn't too impressed with it. And it was met with some fairly negative responses. Some people took it personally. If you don't have an agreement on a movie, then off with your head. I mean, that's how people can be sometimes. Welcome to the internet. Anywho, that is it for this episode of Let's Grapple. Be sure to follow us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @2sweetcosplay. And just stay tuned for some awesome content coming to the page and more. Also, WWE Cosplay Day 7 at Anime Central is coming up Sunday, May 19th, same day as Money in the Bank, at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time at Anime Central. I'm going to be posting the full details of the location shortly. It's in the exhibit hall. I'll post that, and you can also download information about Anime Central in general for this year on the guidebook app. It'll have all the schedules, it'll have maps, and more. And then that's pretty much it. Stay tuned for the next episode of Let's Grapple. We're going to actually discuss a kid that I spotted on SmackDown Live in the front row as an Ultimate Warrior cosplayer. Him and his father have a very incredible story, so I'm going to be posting that very soon. We should be back to a regularly scheduled episode of Let's Grapple to be recorded either Saturday or Sunday, and then premiering either Sunday or Monday. So thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.